All right, welcome back to round 3, back 9 coverage of the Ledgestone Insurance Open. This is Sunset Hills again. My name is Paige Pierce.
I'm Missy Gannon.
We're back here again looking to shoot some hot scores. We saw Catrina Allen shoot a 9 under in round 2, and she could have even shot 11 or maybe even 12. So we know it's possible. We got a few people 6 under and 5 under through their rounds already, only through 9 holes. So looking to see some more birdies out here and hopefully set a course record.
Yeah, the back 9 also sets up with a lot of birdie opportunities. Definitely need to make big putts out here. As we mentioned, the leaderboard, we have Catrina still trucking along at 6 under, Vanessa right behind her trying to keep pace, and then even more so on cards behind them, 5 down, 4 down, from Haley and Sarah Hokum respectively, also Lisa Fakis. So we're on hole 10, 301 feet, par 3. This is slightly uphill. There are these late willow trees that you need to try to navigate. It definitely sets up really well for a forehand shot or just a really straight laser line just to the left of this big tree here. But you can try to risk it and try to go through those willow trees on more of a straight hyzer shot and just hope to get through and get yourself a putt.
Catrina going with the wide high hyzer and perfectly placed. I mean, that is such a small gap,
Yes.
so far up the flight of the disc. Mm-hmm. And she's thrown it to perfection twice now.
Yep.
In the bullseye. Heather also with a beautiful shot, not quite as close. She's going to be just outside the circle, but if you guys watched the front 9, you saw Heather make 4 circle 2 putts, so probably will go in.
Yeah.
This is my Raptor. I think it's a little too stable for this hole, but I know it's fast, so I think if I hit those branches, it's going to cut through. Mm-hmm. But it makes me release it a little bit wide and drop down well short. Vanessa, similar shot as mine, but she started it a lot earlier, so she's going to find the left side inside the circle.
Oh.
I thought that one was in.
Almost
Tried to run it in. It's a tiny bit too low.
There we go.
And Heather.
It doesn't even look like a circle 2 putt.
She's not jumping even. She's not falling forward. She's got all the power she needs.
Just give her an open look and it has a very high likelihood of going in.
It's awesome to watch. Vanessa just a tiny bit low. Catrina's going to card another stroke advantage on Vanessa. And now Heather with this birdie's, I mean, getting very close to Vanessa.
Mm-hmm. Hole 11 is a par 3, 393 feet, plays very downhill. There is an OB pond just right and long of the basket, and then also this little OB sort of little marshy area just short of the pin, just outside circle 1. So it could come into play. It does play shorter than 393 being so downhill. You just got to throw a big shot and decide if you want to try to get close or lay up before that OB marshy area.
Catrina gets past the marsh, but she's going to fall left underneath some branches on the tree on the left side. Heather asked if there was any other OB on the right side other than the pond. because her hyzer is hyzering out right towards that direction. Throw in my Raptor here and don't quite give it enough power. I'm going to fall a little bit short over near where Catrina is underneath some branches. Vanessa adjusting her grip, it appears. This is her Hades. Going with a hyzer flip here. A little bit too much wrist. Turns it over.
Sit.
Oh, and right over that OB string into the water.
All right, open look. This one, Heather did have to jump putt. Very nice line. She'll have to settle for a par.
Yeah, that one looked to be like 50 to 55 feet. Vanessa doesn't even care that she missed the putt. She's looking for that disc. She really wants that Hades back.
Oh, hit it.
Oh, just a tiny bit too wide. I loved it. But I'm going to fall out of bounds on the back. Catrina says I'm not going to go for it. So I will have to take this meter in and putt for a bogey. Little too greedy on that one. But if I could go back, I would still go for it.
Yeah. To save bogey.
Right, so with a par, Heather will actually move up to second place because Vanessa does card the bogey. And they're just 10 shots back of Catrina right now.
Yeah, and hole 12 is 383 feet, par 3. It's a straight gap here. There always tends to be a little bit of a backup here too, so sometimes you're waiting a little bit on this tee pad. You're just trying to throw something very, very straight, navigate all of these trees and bushes. It does play downhill. You'll also probably see the left hyzer gap from Heather. It just depends on how aggressive you want to get on this hole.
Yeah, it's usually pretty breezy about halfway up the fairway. After you get past that brick wall or wooden wall, Catrina releases that way too wide, clips some trees, and she's looking to see if it is safe or not.
Yeah, those, there's that swampy pond that if you land in those trees, you could absolutely get into that pond area. So you don't quite know exactly what happens when your disc goes in there. And if you're safe, you're very much in the woods.
So this is my Tour Series buzz out wide, knowing it's going to hyzer.
Oh my goodness.
And I hit full chains, but it does not stick.
Oh, that was so pure.
Man, I got so excited on that one. It looked like the disc was in the basket because of where it sat afterwards.
That's such like a hard line to commit to too, and that was just exactly the perfect line that you need to throw for this hole in order to get even close. So, man, that was crazy.
Heather having to throw sidearm and hyzer out. It was blind to the basket, she said. She gets inside the circle, and this is just a great out.
Okay, so it looks like Kat was safe, but well in that bushy tree.
Yeah, she was up in a branch, actually. Just forced to pitch out and then pitch up under the basket, and she will have to settle for a bogey there. But could have been a double bogey, so...
Mm-hmm. Vanessa just choosing to lay up there. Not a whole lot of look from there. And she knows she's going to gain a stroke anyway. But not on Paige Pierce, who nearly aced this hole just now. What a great birdie.
Yeah, it was a tester distance too. And I was like, man, I can't go from from ace to par. I got to hit this. Heather with a great par save there. And Vanessa carding that easy par. They will both take a stroke on Catrina with her bogey.
Go so much faster.
Let's do a leaderboard check-in. Haley King, 7 under through 13 holes. She's up 4 spots. She's making a charge. We got Sarah Hokum and Lisa Ficus also at 5 under, and Cynthia Ricciotti at 6 under through 15. It's a lot of blue on the scoreboard out there, and we're looking to finish this round out hot.
Yeah, and going into hole 13, it's only 280 feet, but it is an island hole, and you see a lot of decision making on this hole. It's almost certainly a 4 if you do go OB, because you have to proceed to a drop zone that's about 80 feet away from the basket. So it's not impossible to save your 3, but it is quite unlikely. So it just depends on how aggressive you want to get. It's a little bit blind from the tee. It looks like you're going with your Tour Series Buzz. And that's perfect.
Yeah, it can easily be a 2-shot swing, and you know that in your mind. So when you're on this tee pad, it's very nerve-wracking. Very excited to land that one safe. Heather, being a lefty, she talked about it to us that there's really no play for her to get to the basket. I told her I think she could do the sidearm, but she said it's coming up a little too low and clipping the branches. Mm-hmm. Kind of like that, just a little too low, and that had the power, but just that bush stopped it.
Mm-hmm. And the basket's like right in line with that bush, so you have a good reference point as to where the basket is, but you absolutely cannot throw it low or at that bush at all.
And that one was very fortunate, honestly. She was definitely going for the basket. She had enough power on it to get there, and that tree branch could have sent her out of bounds, but she stays safe, gets one up there to about 18 feet. Heather with a nice touch on that sidearm putter.
Good power on that jump putt. Again, it's sort of one of those ones that you're not banking on making, but you're really trying. But great birdie there by Paige. Definitely feels super good to land this green, which is really only the size of circle 1. So you have to be very precise.
Yeah, so I know I'll be picking up strokes on my entire card here, and Vanessa with the unfortunate short miss there. She will be carding a double bogey and dropping down to 7 under par.
Leading into hole 14, par 3, 329 feet, excuse me. There is OB all along the left side and on the right side in those tall grass areas, and then the trees surrounding the basket do come into play quite a bit. It is a pretty level, straight shot, so you just want to throw something that you're very confident with on this range, and maybe get a slight little skip up to the basket. Looks like you're going with your Z-Raptor. Just trying to hang it out a little bit to the right side. And hyzer right back into the green.
Yeah, and I early released this one yesterday and found myself OB, so I told myself to commit to the right side of the basket release. Still skips on the left side, but I should have some sort of putt. Heather, beautiful shot in. She just hits the last tree. Will stop her progress. She should be just outside the circle.
A bit high out of cap, but it looks like it's understable enough that it doesn't quite dump too hard. She'll be probably just outside the circle as well.
Vanessa now with a nuke. She said that she wanted to throw the Hades on this one, that she lost on 11. So this was a kind of forced disc decision. She could not execute. We'll be carding another bogey here on 14.
Cat for birdie.
Big, big, big putt. Statement putt. She moves up to 19 under.
Just a little bit closer, but circle 2 seems to be
Ooh.
Heather's bread and butter, but yeah, uncharacteristic for at least this round.
She can't make them all, I guess.
Yeah.
And that big branch on the tree forced me to go to a knee. Hit the birdie putts, move into double digits,
Yeah.
10 under.
Great putt.
Today, we'll be talking about the Nuke. The Nuke is a wide-rimmed, fast, maximum distance driver. When throwing on a wide-open course with the Nuke, I'm using it to unleash maximum backhand distance potential. Due to its slim profile and wide rim, the Nuke also fits really well in the hand when throwing sidearms. If I'm looking to throw down some boom sauce, I'm going with the Nuke. You can pick one up at DISCRAFT.com or your local disc golf retailer.
All right, hole 15, par 4, 555 feet. It does play severely dogleg to the left. This shot just requires you to throw something that's going to get as far down here to make it to this corner so that you have a straight shot down this tunnel to the green. Much easier said than done. Off the tee, there is a low branch that could absolutely get in the way. You need to just really trust something on a slight turnover line that's going to have enough glide and enough power to get down this first part of the fairway.
I'm throwing my flippy buzz here. Trying to throw it pretty similar to the shot on hole 8. I turn it a little bit more than I intended to, but I actually ended up being pretty excited about the way that landed on the flat part on the right side of the fairway. Mm-hmm. Catrina getting way up there, getting a hyzer finish. She's actually almost too far.
Mm-hmm.
Heather with the low hyzer flip up the right side. Looking for a stable finish, but it just kind of gets that forward skip. She's not going to have a look around the corner. She'll have to lay up. Vanessa, good angle, just needed that a little bit farther. She's going to be forced to lay up just around the corner.
Yeah, if you don't make it to that corner, past that corner, it takes birdie almost completely out of the question. Because you're forced to pitch up just like this, severely around that angle corner. So you definitely have to get that distance off the tee.
And I liked my spot a lot. I could see the basket. It was straight on and only 280 feet to the basket, but I just pull it a little too inside. 3 will not be an option for me, but Catrina with this step out with the M4 slides it just past the basket, about 28 feet looking back at the basket.
Yeah, she might have some of those trees to navigate on that putt. If you go a little long,
Right, and all three are on the backside of the green so far. Can't really make this, just trying to get it as close as possible.
I mean, it looked like a great line there.
Yeah, it's just one of those ones that's like
sure.
too far.
Yep.
I know I can get it there, but not to the chains. Catrina doesn't quite get it to the chains either.
Having to split those tree trunks with those crazy looking trees. But Heather's able to capitalize on the par putt at least.
Yeah, just a couple feet farther to the right, and it completely changes the, not even multiple feet, you know, like 1 foot over.
Yeah, they were all very similar. It's just, you know, Kat had to deal with those trees. So a bunch of par tap-ins there. Take a look at this leaderboard. All very close as far as the round scores go. You know, 7-6, 5-6 right there on the top. Also Sarah at 5 down coming off the chase card. So definitely a lot of good scores coming out there. It's just a matter of, you know, trying to gain as many strokes as possible at this point and put yourself in a good position. And hole 16 is a par 3, 352 feet. Not a lot of OB to speak of. That left side OB, which is basically the last hole's green, doesn't really come into play. You might see a few rollers on this hole because it does bend slightly to the right. Also an air shot with some late flip will also get you in good position. It just depends on what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, I threw the roller the past 2 days, but decided to go air shot, hyzer flip with my Undertaker. And it was turning perfectly, just needed a couple feet more forward before the turn. I'll still be pin high, but I'll be outside the circle. Catrina now going with a more stable fairway driver, so she puts a lot of turn on it, and unfortunately just too much turn. She's going to be way down the hill on the right side. But it is open down there.
And a lefty shot is just something that's going to flip up to flat and get enough distance. Heather will find herself inside circle 2, but down in those bushy trees. We'll see what she has to deal with.
Vanessa, pretty similar mistake to Catrina, just a little bit too much turn. This is what it looks like from down there. You're very uphill, not much of a run up.
Yeah, Kat just a little bit farther and tiny bit closer. Similar look to Vanessa.
Heather just pitches it right through that gap.
Oh no. Okay.
Could have.
Yeah.
So I've just taken the second place spot, but I'm trying to get another stroke because it's very close.
Good effort, you know. That hillside on the backside is no joke, but
yeah, I didn't fully commit.
Yep.
Mostly committed, but not quite. But Heather misses a short one. That is the shortest one I've seen her miss in the last few rounds I've played with her. But, you know, overall, great putter. Just unfortunate timing on that one. She's going to drop back to 8 under par.
we'll see Kat, Vanessa, and Paige all tap out for their pars on this hole. But we have a par 4 coming up, hole 17, 525 feet. OB all along the left side, pretty wide to the left. And then there is a Mando that you have to navigate on the right side that you have to pass left of. doesn't quite come into play, but you know, if there's any wind, it could definitely become a factor. You just want to throw a very big distance drive, try to get as much distance as possible, and depending on what you're comfortable with, either a forehand or more of a backhand slight turnover. You have to decide where you want to land off the tee. Left more is going to give you more of a straight backhand anhyzer, or even a forehand. If you land a little bit too straight, you're definitely going to have to pitch a severe forehand up to the basket.
So this is my Zeus here, a little bit too wide. I do clip a tree and kick to the left though and make the Mando. Fortunate kick there.
Lining up what looks like a big hyzer flip. Yep, just trying to keep it on hyzer, land on the left side, and give herself a look into the green. Vanessa doing a similar shot as well.
And Heather with this lefty play. She says she has to go higher than she would like to because of that burn pile. Makes her go a little bit too hyzery, so she's going to be shorter than she wishes she was. It's a very steep hyzer into the green for her. But she throws it well.
Yeah,
It looked like
great
an
shot.
A series disc. I'm guessing an A2.
Yeah, so you could see here, landing left more. You will be farther from the basket, but you are set up for more of a straight and hyzer shot. Kat here taking the forehand route from a similar position.
And same disc, A2, right in there. Vanessa's was just barely too low. It
Yeah.
looked great.
And you being a little bit straighter off the tee, have to really commit to this overstable forehand. And you could see it just goes a little bit too straight, too long. So you'll be hung up outside the circle up the hill.
Oh, and Vanessa just an inch too low. Just outside the circle here, looking down at the basket.
This hill drops off so much, and as you can see, this is just what you know can happen on this hole. You just never want it to happen to you or anybody, really. It's just such a heartbreaker when you see that stand up and roll down.
Yeah, that's just sad. Got nothing for that. Just sad.
Yeah.
Heather with a great committed putt right at the center of the chains. Beautiful birdie pickup, and she'll actually tie it back up with me. It's a 2-shot swing. Still, Catrina keeping her foot on the gas, though. There is no letting up from Catrina. She's up to 20 under par with 1 hole to play in this third round.
Yeah, and hole 18 is 383 feet, par 3. Got a little bit of a gallery starting to gather, which is super cool to see up by the clubhouse here. So it's a really exciting finishing hole. It plays downhill over this valley, and it's one of those sloping greens that definitely attracts your disc to go down the hill. So you have to commit to that slight anhyzer angle, or just very, very direct at the basket straight, and just try to get the right distance and have it slide up to the basket.
Catrina with a nice anhyzer release on a stable fairway, getting that beautiful finish slowly behind the basket.
Lefty angle doesn't quite, it feels a little bit nicer because you're kind of crashing into that hill. You could see, Heather had the distance, it just flipped up a little bit too much and ended up riding that sort of hillside. So she'll find herself down that hill quite a bit of ways from the basket.
Vanessa a little bit low and turned. She's going to be outside circle 2, looking at an approach to the green.
You've got your Raptor in hand, gunning it for the basket. You know you're going to get a little bit of turn. Looks like great height. Oh my God. Another ace run. What?
Just a bit too low, hit the cage.
How exciting. I mean, we don't have too many fans out there right now, but more than we have had lately. And that's just so fun to see that type of shot.
Yeah, and again, I hit the basket, and I got a tester putt, about a 25-footer uphill. Awkward stance. Really wanted that one to go in.
Yes.
And I will jump up to double digits, 10 under par. But Catrina's going to tap in a birdie as well, I'm guessing, from about 15 feet. Man, you would have thought Vanessa would have hit that one as well, but just a tiny bit low. And she'll card another bogey. Yeah, Catrina, another birdie up to 21 under par, another 9 under par. And, I mean, she's just showing us what the course is supposed to be thrown like.
Yes.
It's hard to catch her. Hard to catch her when she's not making too many mistakes, only a couple strokes off the course record. So I did shoot a 6 under. I'm going to move up to second place. And rounding out the feature card going into round 4 will be Sarah Hokum joining us. She shot 6 under par today. She's going to be tied with Haley for that 4th place spot, but with the hotter round, Sarah will be joining the lead card. So make sure you guys tune into round 4, subscribe so you know when it drops. We'll see you tomorrow.